So feds are tracking some credible threats, some, nothing's confirmed really, but they're obviously on high alert as Charlie Kirk's memorial service is going to be held this weekend on Sunday. And this is what there was an internal memo amid local government officials that was leaked to ABC News. And this is what some of that memo said. Quote, violent extremists and unaffiliated lone offenders may view the memorial service or related events as attractive attack targets due to the attendance of these individuals, other senior U.S. government officials, state and local government officials, and political activists, and due to major international media attention. This was an internal memo circulating with the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, Secret Service, and the ATF. So they are certainly concerned about these lone wolf type people, these offenders, and that is the top threat, according to this memo. They are the most concerned about these lone wolves. They are also concerned about domestic extremists and for foreign terror organizations. So this is spanning among multiple concerns here. And this report coming from DHS earlier yesterday, they said that this is a SEAR level 1 event. So this is a special event assessment rating. This is going to be top dog, right? Because the president of the United States is going to be there. The vice president of the United States is going to be there. Erica Kirk, of course, Charlie Kirk's widow and now CEO of Turning Point USA, amid other members of President Trump's cabinet. So there's going to be a lot of people there. And federal agencies say that they have no information to suggest that there is a verified, credible plot. But of course, they are. Why does this keep happening like 5 minutes into the show? I can't speak.
This is producer Andy. Hayley is taking a drink, and we're going to continue to talk about threats with the Charlie Kirk situation. And here comes AOC in a minute being an idiot. Back to Hayley.
Yeah, we are going to talk about AOC being an idiot, certainly. But in this memo, it said that basically they're going to put police officers everywhere. There's going to be police officers in plain sight, and then there's going to be police officers where you can't see them. So I think they are referring to some plain-clothed police officers. If you watched my show last night, we had Silverlock contributor and former Secret Service agent Scott Bryson on the show, who said that this is important to have plain-clothed police officers and federal agents that are just in the crowd. They can have an eye on everything. It's important to have that. So hopefully that is what they're planning to do. Also, they're going to have agents in aircraft, drones, helicopters, all of that at the ready. And the Department of Public Safety and Secret Service are going to be running the security inside State Farm Stadium. This is all taking place where the Cardinals play in Arizona. It's in Glendale. So this is huge, right? The stadium holds 63,000 people about. And certainly state, local, and federal law enforcement are all going to be working together, but this is a big event. Not that they can't handle it, of course, but this extra threat level just because of recent events. But Alex Clark, who works at Turning Point, she has the show Culture Apothecary. She said that if you don't make it into the stadium, because if you're planning on going and attending the funeral service in person at the stadium, you're supposed to sign up at Turning Point USA. But it is open to the public. So again, 63,000 people can fit in this stadium. Alex Clark seems to think that there's going to be overflow. I think she's probably right. She encouraged people to still come, and they are asking people to wear red, white, and blue, patriotic gear. But Democrats have refused to honor Charlie Kirk. This is not shocking to me, but it is notable that the House adopted a resolution to honor the life and legacy of Charlie Kirk, and of course to also condemn political violence. So a lot of Democrats did sign on to this, by the way, but 58 did not. 58 Democrats did not sign on to the formal statement. This doesn't have any bearing on the law. This isn't a law that's being passed or anything. It's just a statement from the House saying we acknowledge the life and legacy of Charlie Kirk. We condemn political violence. So I guess some Democrats didn't think that it was important to do that. This seems kind of like a no-brainer that this should be bipartisan, but clearly we're dealing with people that are not of sound mind. Now, the vote was 310 to 58. So 95 Democrats did sign on with Republicans, but here are just some of the names, some of the ones that I think you might recognize of the Democrats that did not sign on to this resolution to honor Charlie Kirk. Shontel Brown of Ohio, Yvette Clarke of New York, Jim Clyburn from South Carolina, Jasmine Crockett from Texas. Who else? Al Green from Texas. Glenn Ivey of Maryland, Pramila Jayapal, Washington, LaMonica McIver of New Jersey. I remember that name. I think she was one of the Democrats that got into a scuffle with ICE agents outside of the ICE facility in New Jersey.
And you skipped over Hammer and Hank Johnson, who was the guitar player and has blessed us with all that wonderful,
how could I forget?
Acoustic coffee house music.
AOC, of course, which we're going to get to in just a second. Ilhan Omar, Minnesota. Ayanna Pressley, Massachusetts. So the squad coming out strong against Charlie Kirk. Again, not surprised. Who else here? Benny Thompson, Mississippi. Rashida Tlaib, Michigan. Again, another squad member. Maxine Waters of California. Are we shocked? No. But here is Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez on the House floor condemning this. Watch.
Today, the Republican House majority brought to the floor a resolution honoring, quote, honoring the life and legacy of Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's assassination was a horrific and vile attack and incident of political violence. And condemning the depravity of Kirk's brutal murder is a straightforward matter, one that is especially important to help stabilize an increasingly unsafe and volatile political environment where everyday people feel more at risk. We can deeply disagree and come together as a country to denounce the horror of this killing. And it is not a license for the abuse of power and whitewashing of American history. Today's resolution only underscores the majority's recklessness by choosing to author this condemnation and honoring on a purely partisan basis, instead of uniting Congress in this tragedy with one of the many bipartisan options to condemn political violence and Kirk's murder, as we did with the late Melissa Hortman. Instead, the majority proceeded with a resolution that brings great pain to the millions of Americans who endured segregation, Jim Crow, and the legacy of bigotry today.
There's so many things in this clip that we need to break down because Charlie, okay. First of all, she said abuse of power and whitewashing American history. What does this have to do with whitewashing American history? Because he was white and he was assassinated? Would she have been for it if he was black and this happened?
Or is this a problem because we're making this a proclamation because Charlie was murdered, but he's a political figure, but he was right. And how many political figures, is she trying to say how many people on the left have been killed throughout, the history of the country, and we've not celebrated? I don't know where she goes with this, but it never ends.
They have every right to bring a resolution to honor the lives of those people.
100%. It never ends.
And, she said, well, this is being brought on a partisan basis. I mean, yeah, Charlie Kirk was conservative. He obviously stood up for those values, his faith. But again, you should be able to sign on to this, as many of the Democrats did, because it was to honor someone who gave his life to politics and was killed for it. And the Democrats should realize that this isn't like, fawning over a conservative just because he's conservative. Like he is representative of anyone who gives their life to politics and anyone who might have a target on their back because they do what Charlie Kirk did. And no one is on his level, but this is indicative of a greater problem. And I think a lot of the Democrats that signed on to this did recognize that, but these few that didn't, the 58 that didn't, I mean, come on. Then she's saying this resolution is causing a great pain, or Charlie Kirk was causing a great pain to Americans that went through Jim Crow. Who is where is she getting this? Like, did someone tell her that? Did someone tell her to say that? Like, what? I just feel like they have these buzzwords that they can't help but bring up.
Yeah, and to me sometimes, and someone said this in the chat, and I think it's a great, diving into what in the heck she thinks is almost a waste of time, because I don't hear her say a lot of coherent stuff.
No, I know, but it is worth discussing because I heard
100%.
reports today that she's eyeing a Senate seat in New York. So she's working her way up. I thought that maybe she would be a vice presidential candidate. I'm not saying that that's off the table.
Can you imagine her senator in New York, Mondami, mayor of the city? This is just getting a little scary.
The America that New York wants. So anyway, AOC obviously caught a lot of flack for that on the House floor, and she clarified her stance and basically doubled down on it, but this is what she posted on X. We should be clear about who Charlie Kirk was. A man who believed that the Civil Rights Act granted Black Americans the right to vote was a mistake, who after the violent attack on Paul Pelosi claimed that some amazing patriot out there should bail out his assailant and accused Jews of controlling not just the colleges, it's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, all of it. His rhetoric and beliefs were ignorant and sought to disenfranchise millions of Americans. What? Far from working tirelessly to promote unity as asserted by the majority in this resolution, we can condemn his horrific assassination and the scourge of political violence without uplifting these ideas. So clarifying and doubling down on why she is not going to honor his life and legacy, can't take the politics out of it. If they just put some, generic resolution about political violence, would she have signed on to it? Even if it didn't say Charlie Kirk's name on it, she would have associated it with him because of what just happened. And they probably wouldn't have signed on to it anyway because they would have just deemed it a conservative thing.
Yeah, or how about this? Let's honor person X and not mention his name. And let's honor person X who rose to political prominence by having peaceful, honoring conversations across party lines. Can we not honor that?
Apparently not.
Can we not civilly talk about it? Because that, to me, that's the biggest legacy that Charlie had, was his ability to stare at people who, the Bill Maher's of the world, not just countless unknown college kids, but celebrities, other politicians, world leaders, didn't agree with him, but he had conversations. Can that not be honored and modeled?
You would think, but it's because their constituents are evil. If they vote to honor Charlie Kirk, they will upset their constituency. So AOC and other Democrats are representing the people who are celebrating Charlie's death, probably. And they're not willing to stand up for what is decent if it threatens their power. And certainly if AOC is eyeing a Senate seat or some other higher power in the future, she can't lose support among the people who are going to vote for her. You know when people say, don't meet your heroes, that kind of don't meet these people. Stop expecting politicians to be morally decent human beings. Just stop. I don't even know why we're expecting AOC to be decent or any of these people to really be decent. This goes for people on both sides of the aisle, by the way. If you expect mostly morally corrupt, bought and paid for, narcissistic people with power to be decent, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be disappointed. So yeah, it says that she's eyeing a 2028 presidential run. I heard Senate earlier today.
This New York Post. Hey, you know what? Run. Please, like, run. I would love to see her debate JD Vance. I'd pay $30 to pay-per-view and invite my neighbors over for popcorn.
I wonder if Gavin Newsom would ever take the back seat and be a vice presidential candidate. I don't think he could do it. It would have to be someone else.
Yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, I bet Newsom could raise more money than AOC.
I agree.
I think that there's a little bit of there are enough cringe. There's enough in her party. There's enough cringe with some of the stance and stuff. Oh, that's yeah. I got to reposition the camera here, so I'll do that later. But yeah, no, I think Gavin Newsom could. He's going to do that for me. What a guy!
Wow. Teamwork.
I think Newsom could raise a whole lot more money.
Totally. But there's just this odd comparison that Democrats are making about the outrage over Charlie Kirk and how they claim that, you know, conservatives didn't care about the Minnesota lawmakers. But I know we're not at scrolling time yet, but I wanted to play this video that I found on TikTok. And this guy, a Democrat, was making a pretty good point here. Watch this.
I've been thinking a lot about how Democrats, because I am one, have been talking about how, well, where was all of the outrage when the Democratic politicians were attacked in Minnesota, who ultimately lost their lives as well. Let me just say something. A lot of people are super fucking performative. Because one thing I will say, whether we agree with Charlie Kirk or not, is the people that support him, they've gone around the entire country making candlelight vigils. They booked a stadium. They've been booking shows on the news. Like, these are people that followed him, so they're going to go out and do that. But everyone's saying, why didn't we do this for the Democrats that were attacked? Half the country is Democrat. Why didn't we do it? Why didn't we do candlelight vigils? Why didn't we blow up social media and post about it all day long? Like, you guys are mad that conservative people are posting on TikTok about a conservative being assassinated. When in reality, most of you that are talking about the Democratic people that were attacked right now, you weren't pushing out content every day talking about it when it happened. And that's like my biggest fucking gripe, is it's like, you guys are confused that somebody who was popular to half of the country is being mourned by half of the country, and then saying, why didn't anybody mourn when someone that we supported died? And it's like, we didn't do it. We didn't go out and host the vigils. We didn't do it.
Right. So Melissa Hartman passed away. Her husband passed away. And then another Minnesota lawmaker, John Hoffman, he was shot. His wife was shot. They survived. Isn't it odd that when there's political violence carried out against their own side, they don't show up for them? They don't seem to care as much. They're quick to blame Republicans for gun violence. They're quick to lecture us about empathy when they don't even give as much of a shit as we do. I covered the death of Melissa Hartman and the shooting of John Hoffman. You can go back to my show from Monday, June 16th and see that I called out the political violence as disgusting and sad, because it is always disgusting and sad no matter who it's carried out against. So enough with lecturing conservatives on empathy. I did not see one conservative member of the media saying that those people deserved it because of their viewpoints. Not one. I did not see one conservative member of the media celebrating the violence. Not one. The same Democrats who put out lukewarm posts on X about the need to tamp down violence and turn down the temperature are the same Democrats who broke a wife-beating gangbanger out of jail in El Salvador for margaritas and photo ops. They're the same Democrats who care about a late-night host's mistake more than a political assassination. The same Democrats who tried to bust George Floyd protesters out of jail after they burned cities to the ground. These are the same Democrats that supported protesters who were assaulting ICE agents with bricks. These are the same Democrats who stand idly by when the policies they promote have essentially allowed domestic violence to be an Olympic sport. So save it on the empathy. And they could have done what we did for Charlie for anyone that they choose. They didn't care. They only care because we care, and now they're trying to use it against us. See you later. It's just disgusting. The language that conservatives used in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination. A lot of these posts, you've seen people on our side say, we are all Charlie Kirk now. And Stephen Colbert, who is also facing a late night firing in the next few months, whenever his contract runs out, he was using this same language as a joke during his show. Watch this.
Welcome, one and all, to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. But tonight,
Who is still here
we are all
watching
Jimmy
this?
Kimmel. I still have a show, though, right? Okay, good.
We are all Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah, the applaud signs were lighting up pretty bright in that studio.
Clap for me, clap. No, you're a loser. You're two failed losers. We're not all Jimmy Kimmel. It's just you guys. Then, a lot of people were saying on social media, I know that comedian in Ireland, Graham Lineman, posted on X. We played this on the show last week, but he tweeted, and a lot of other people were tweeting this too, you just created a million Charlie Kirks, because Charlie Kirk created a movement. It wasn't just, people liked him and, whatever. I mean, he created a foundation. He brought people not only to the conservative movement, but also to Christ. And someone on X posted, you've just created a million Jimmy Kimmels. Well, Jimmy Kimmel didn't create a movement. He might have had a few fans, but not enough to make his show viable. So, no, I mean, we did not just create a million Jimmy Kimmels, that would mean we would have to create a bunch of not funny losers and unemployed people, which would not be good for our country. Another, side effect of everything that has happened recently are, people canceling other people, getting them fired from their jobs for whatever reason. Certainly the people who are celebrating death deserve that. That's disgusting. And a lot of employers did come to the conclusion that they did not want to hire those people and employ those people and pay their paychecks. So totally understood. But, this person on X was basically joking. I just got a mother of two evicted for making fun of Jimmy Kimmel's misfortunes. Again, you cannot compare Jimmy Kimmel's misfortunes with a man being assassinated and shot in the neck. These are different. Then another person on X making fun of FBI Director Kash Patel for his sign-off at the presser in Utah when we were getting some information about the killer, the suspected killer, and he signed off to Charlie Kirk saying, "See you in Valhalla." And this person on X said, I talked to Jimmy Kimmel the day before he got canceled, and the last thing he said to me was, "Keep the fight going. We're going to fight for you, Jimmy. I'll see you in Valhalla." Again, taking people's words when they're grieving the loss of their friend and their colleague and turning this into a joke. Now, BLM, the BLM movement, they got the gang back together to disparage Charlie Kirk. Here's members of BLM protesting in the streets.
Fuck Charlie Kirk! Fuck Charlie Kirk! Fuck Charlie Kirk! Fuck Charlie Kirk! Racist bastard! Racist bastard! Piss on your ashes! Piss on your ashes! Spit on your grave! Spit on your grave! I'll never be a slave! 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 Fuck Charlie Kirk! Fuck Charlie Kirk! Fuck Charlie Kirk! Fuck Charlie Kirk! Racist bastard! Racist bastard! Piss on your ashes! Piss on your ashes! Piss on your ashes! Piss on your ashes! Spit on your grave! Spit on your grave! I'll never be a slave! I'll never be a slave! Fuck Charlie Kirk! Fuck Charlie Kirk! Fuck Charlie Kirk! Fuck Charlie Kirk! Racist bastard! Racist bastard! Piss on your ashes! Piss on your ashes!
It's so disgusting. It's so disgusting. And then they're saying, I'll never be a slave? To who? To what? No one is arguing for slavery. No, Charlie Kirk never said anything about that. If anything, Charlie Kirk said, you shouldn't have a victim mentality, like free yourself from that victim mentality. What does this movement stand for? Again, Black Lives Matter. Like, what does that have to do with Charlie Kirk? They just assume that he's racist based on mainstream media narratives. So they go out and yell vile things after someone dies. Like, get a life. Who is involved in this organization anymore? Fraudulent organization, by the way. But one of the most prominent Democrats, former President Obama, had this to say. He was also comparing Charlie Kirk and Jimmy Kimmel. He said this: "The commentary offers a clear, powerful statement of why freedom of speech is at the heart of democracy and must be defended, whether the speaker is Charlie Kirk or Jimmy Kimmel, MAGA supporters or MAGA opponents." Now, yes, I agree that freedom of speech should be defended no matter who is speaking. I agree with that. But Charlie Kirk was silenced forever. He was murdered by a psychopath who didn't agree with his takes on trans ideology, among other things. Jimmy Kimmel was suspended, given a slap on the wrist, not for criticizing Charlie Kirk, but for lying about the motivation behind the assassination. He is held to a certain standard, and he failed. Those are different, obviously different. And conflating these two, throwing them in the same free speech infringement category, throwing them in the same tweet even, is brain dead. And this is the party's poster boy. He is their poster boy. So the party is lost. But there are some very nice tributes that I've seen on social media ahead of the memorial on Sunday. Charlie Kirk is from Illinois, and he founded Turning Point USA when he was just a teenager. And this is a really nice memorial. So Adrienne Curry, a model, she's been red-pilled in recent years. She's awesome. And she posted this: "My best friend since I was 3 just sent me this, where she lives in Illinois. It's where Charlie Kirk founded Turning Point." And you can just see all of the signs and the American flags and the balloons and the flowers and everything around where he started this movement, which is really special. And, you know, the movement has grown, and the company, the foundation, has grown so much since then. And of course, Turning Point now has this massive headquarters in Phoenix, Arizona. They also have, you know, just all of the same memorial outside, even bigger. Benny Johnson posted this on X earlier. But again, the flags, the balloons, all of the flowers, all of the ribbons, and I just to see the overflow of support, that overwhelming support, is so wonderful. And in such a horrible moment that we are living in, this does give a little bit of hope, doesn't it? I mean, it's nice to see the amount of people who are coming out and showing support. One thing that totally wrecked me, if you watched Erica Kirk's statement that she gave at Turning Point headquarters a few days ago, she was talking about how to tell her 3-year-old daughter where her dad is. And basically, how do you explain to a 3-year-old that their dad is never coming home, right? So she was saying that, you know, her dad was on a mission trip with Jesus, and he's going to try to fund, you know, her blueberry budget. So I guess Charlie's little girl loves blueberries, and people were putting blueberries at the memorials as well, which I thought was really sweet. Just very sad. But it's not just the Turning Point community that this has touched. I saw earlier today that University of Tennessee had painted a photo of Charlie Kirk, a mural of Charlie Kirk on the rock. So students are all working together there to paint that, which I think is so cool. Just to see that he made such an impact just on college campuses in general. And certainly in Tennessee, you expect most of the college students are probably more conservative, or they were brought up that way. And I just think that that's very cool. And also at Utah Valley University, where Charlie Kirk was killed, this was very, very cool. So I wanted to show this because it was on TikTok, and someone said, "Sorry, it's just the cross made from the sunlight above his memorial actually made it hard to breathe. God bless Charlie Kirk." And if you see there's a memorial at Utah Valley University in that area where he was giving the speech, and you can see, if you're listening and not watching, the sunlight hits the window behind the memorial in just such a perfect way where it makes a perfect cross, which I think is so cool. You know, God definitely sends us messages in little ways, and I think that certainly was one of them. But moving on from the Charlie Kirk news, other news today, Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he made this announcement about big pharma ads. Listen.
Hi, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. here, your HHS Secretary. I'm proud to share a critical update with you today. The FDA is taking action to require full safety information to be included in drug ads on TV and radio. No more hiding vital information in small print or pushing it off to a website or a 1-800 number. Since 1997, regulators have allowed drug ads to avoid full warnings on TV or radio. They let the companies mention a vague major statement of risk and sent you elsewhere for the details. That loophole opened the door to a tsunami of misleading advertising. Drug ads drove up prescription drug costs and distorted doctor-patient conversations. Patients saw glossy ads and often asked for new medications. Big Pharma's marketing hooked the country on prescription drugs. We're taking action to end that practice. Thanks to President Trump's memorandum signed last week, the wheels are now in motion to require every broadcast prescription drug ad to display its full safety facts on screen. Companies would have to list important warnings, common side effects, and dangers directly in the ad. It's all about radical transparency and ensuring that you stay fully informed. We're rebuilding trust between doctors and patients and stopping the over-medicalization. At HHS, we believe an informed individual is an empowered individual. When you make health decisions about drugs, you deserve facts, not half-truths. We're working to make sure that you get the facts.
Produced by the U.S. Department of Health and
Human... All well and good, right? This is all well and good. But why are we advertising drugs to people on TV at all? Get rid of them all. It's not enough to just have, you know, when you're watching one of these drug commercials and someone's like skipping and spinning around and it's like, this may cause death and stroke and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, the commercials are just like totally insane anyway. Like, it's just people like, woo, like I have whatever and I take this drug and now everything's like fine and dandy. The ads themselves are insane. Why? Like, if you are sick with something, go to the doctor. Maybe try to find a holistic approach. If it's something serious and you need medication, fine. But have that conversation with your doctor. Watching an ad on television and then going to your doctor about it is ass backwards anyway. And it's being promoted to the masses like it's a pair of shoes that you can buy. And it's not. I mean, it's totally dangerous. So I appreciate that, you know, they're going to have this transparency where they're going to read the full risks. But again, a lot of TV spots, by the way, are 15 seconds, 30 seconds, sometimes 60 seconds if it's really long. The whole ad is going to be the risks. Like, the ads aren't even going to work anymore. It's just going to be like, you may die, and then you may die from this, and then you may die from this, and then you may die from this.
Can you imagine a bunch of people in a spontaneous erupt in the streets in a spontaneous dance, like a lot of these ads, you know, or people jumping in the beach with a voiceover talking about all the scary crap that can come from it?
Yeah, so I don't know. I think, you know, it's hard for me to be like, woo, like another win for the Maha movement. It's like, why are we even doing this anyway? Like, get rid of Big Pharma. This is how they make all their money, and the whole thing is corrupt. Anyway, should we get into some tinfoil hat time? Let's do it. I'm being abducted. I love it. I love when the tinfoil hat actually lands on my head. It's perfect. All right. So we've all heard the conspiracy theory that Brigitte Macron, the wife of French President Emmanuel Macron, is a man. This has been launched by not only Candace Owens, but other journalists in past years. I mean, Candace Owens is really the one that has brought this back to the forefront and has certainly made it more of a topic of conversation. Candace claims that the First Lady was born male, and she used to go by the name Jean-Michel Trogneux, who is Brigitte Macron's older brother. She thinks that they have kind of like swapped somehow, and she's like pretending to be a woman. Now, there's a headline that I saw today that Brigitte Macron, or maybe this was yesterday. We were talking about it right after the show yesterday, so this was yesterday. But it says Brigitte Macron to offer court photographic evidence proving she is a woman, because the French president and his wife are suing Candace Owens now over this, saying that it is defamation, that she's saying that she's a man, which I don't know. Like, let's think about this, because Michelle Obama gets these accusations all the time that it's Big Mike and she's a dude also, and people play the video of her dancing on Ellen where it looks like she's got something going on downstairs, not a vagina, but something else.
Downstairs mix-up.
Yeah, just a little downstairs mix-up. So who knows? And a lot of people say, we just need to see a photo of Michelle Obama pregnant. Like, we just need to see a photo of that. But, like, does that even prove it? Because I'm thinking about it, you know, I'm joking, and we were joking last night when we saw this headline, Brigitte Macron to offer photographic evidence proving she's a woman. Like what is she gonna say?
I think I'll just take the DNA evidence. Give me like a pricked finger. Let me know that way. I don't need a photo shoot.
Totally. But we're joking last night because we see this headline and it's like, we're getting Brigitte Macron nudes before GTA 6? Like, what's going on, you know? Anyway, apparently, according to the Macron's lawyer, his name is Tom Clare, that there are photos of Brigitte Macron pregnant and raising her children. And these photos exist, and they are going to be presented in court. And there's also an image of Brigitte Macron's birth announcement from 1953, a photograph of her as a child with her family, another photo from the day of her wedding. These were all submitted as part of this suit. Why provide photo evidence when you can provide a blood test or something more concrete? A photo of someone pregnant doesn't prove anything in 2025, where these things can theoretically be faked. I'm sure that would be very stupid for them to fake photos and present them in court. But I'm just
the French
saying,
are
like,
okay with that. You know what I mean? The French are.
To your point, like, prick your finger and do a blood test. Do a DNA test. I just don't understand, like, what? Also, if someone says that you're a man and they, you know, obviously Candace Owens has a huge platform, lots of people follow her, you know, maybe a ton of people believe this now because of Candace Owens and the limelight that she has put on this, right? But if someone said that I was a dude, I would just laugh because it's not true. Like, it's odd that this has gotten to such a serious legal point where they're taking legal action against her.
Well,
Really?
I would say, I mean, Candace has been hitting this hard, hours and hours.
I know. She's done a lot of research. Like,
So
I give
if-
it to her. She's
if
done a lot
somebody
of
can
research.
just take a few photos and slam the door shut, I ain't gonna look at them, but I'm just saying.
But do photos slam the door shut? Not for me.
Well, in
I would need to
addition
see more.
to a little finger prick there with some DNA might help.
That's what I'm saying. That's totally what I'm saying. But people were joking on social media, which I thought was very funny. Someone posted this. I think it's Ryan Long. He's a comedian. He posted a video of her parallel parking, insinuating that women can't drive. And as a woman who's really not that great at driving or parallel parking, I thought that this was very funny. And also, Redheaded Libertarian posted this saying, like, has anyone asked Brigitte Macron to calm down? Because, as we know, women don't like that. So maybe if we just asked Brigitte Macron to calm down and see how she reacts, maybe that would prove it. You know, is Brigitte Macron a man? I don't know. But she was a grown adult who was infatuated with a 14-year-old boy and went on to marry him. So she is a fucking weirdo in my book. So who's to say that there aren't weirder things happening in this relationship? But I will say that she's disgusting to me because of that. Now, anyway, oh yeah, and I totally forgot. Someone just asked me to calm down. You know what? But I'm cool as a cucumber, you know? So that doesn't work on me. It just doesn't work on me. But someone else in the chat reminded me that, you know, she has the upper hand, if you will. She was slapping her man around.
She's an alpha. I mean, she's the alpha. He's the beta. That's
She's
for
wearing
sure.
the pants.
I mean, you can tell. I will say this. She got some broad shoulders.
She's very little.
She's got some broad shoulders.
She doesn't have curves. I'll say that. I don't really know if she has broad shoulders, but she has like no fat on her body, which is odd for a woman. She has no curves, which is odd for a woman. Like, I'm not trying to like body shame, but if we're talking about whether or not she's a man or woman, she doesn't really have like a womanly body.
She had a pretty good right cross there, wasn't it? I mean, didn't she? What did she do as soon as those plane doors opened? She slapped him? Yeah.
She slapped him.
You know, I'm just saying. He didn't stand a chance. I mean, he didn't even hear the bell ring. He was out.
People in the chat are saying disgusting things about how they need photo evidence of me being a woman. Is this not enough? There we go. Okay, let's go into the next. We have to go into Kin Panama.
That's a good transition, by the way.
Kin Panama. I don't like when people are rude in the chat. Don't be rude. Don't be gross. Okay, Kin Panama. This is an account on TikTok. This is a man who lives in Panama who, I don't know, is he growing an alien in his house? I don't know what this is.
This is weird.
It's very weird.
Before we play this, there's some people that have said that they're going to debunk it. Okay, I got camera here working. We fixed it. He fixed it, y'all. All right. But like the thing is that all they're saying is that it's some sort of, you know, man-made like science project-y like stuff with salts and all this crazy goo, but no one's telling me how they know that this has been debunked.
Well,
they're
no
just
one really
saying
knows.
It's debunked.
They're just saying, right? So, okay, so this man, I have a few videos here that we can go through. So this man says that he found a meteor. Where? In his backyard, on his property, he found this rock that he thinks is part of a meteor. So let's play this video so you can see what we're looking at. To me, this looks like a potato with silver paint on it. Is this not a potato with silver paint on it? He's claiming this is part of a meteor.
Well, and here's the interesting part about this video is that he puts a leaf over it, and that's significant because people are saying that, you know, it's the radiation coming from the wrapped, you know,
it's like
Wendy's baked potato
it's like burns
through the leaf,
the leaf, which is odd, and I will say not characteristic of a potato. Potatoes don't do that, unless the potato. I don't know. Okay, so this is how it all started, right? He finds this meteor. If you're listening, I'm doing finger quotes because I don't know what the hell this thing is. Now the meteor, I'm just going to call it meteor for the sake of this, starts growing something. It starts growing, looks like kind of like a plant or almost like a plant or like a hermit crab almost. I don't even know what's coming out of this thing. It's
this reminds me of the stuff. Remember a couple of weeks ago when we had the stuff growing on the rabbits? And you remember that in the woods, the kind of fungusy looking thing growing on them? That's sort of what this looks like to me a little here.
Yeah, there's weird, like, and whatever's coming out of it is moving. But does it look like a plant to you? More like a plant, or does it look like a being of some sort?
Well, it doesn't look like a being yet.
But look at it moving. Did you see it move?
It's twitching.
It's twitching. Look at it. It's moving. Okay. Here's another video of it starting to move. See that little green thing popping out of it? It almost looks like a worm, but it's like a... Look at that little tail thing moving. Look at that. This is all coming out of a potato meteor, guys. It's weird. And even if he's faking this, what is that? Right? Because if it's the meteor, I would say, yeah, that's a potato painted in silver paint. But the stuff that's growing on it and moving on it, like if he is faking it, what is it? Right?
It looks gross.
It's gross. Whatever it is, it's gross. And it's getting worse. So now it's growing. And it's growing. It's massive now. So this isn't even as bad as it was, okay? But now you can barely even see the meteor. It is now this black mass of whatever plant-like growth we were seeing. It is not that anymore. It is... I don't know what this is. It's a pile of... I don't know. Weird black stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's sort of getting tentacles, I guess, is the best way. If you're watching this and not, or if you're listening to it and not watching, it sort of looks like it's sprouting some sort of like urchin-y kind of thing that's coming out of it, maybe?
Yeah, like a sea urchin kind of. And so this is one of the most recent videos that he posted, and you can see just how big it has gotten. It is like something out of a horror movie, you know? This is black, like... And it is moving, right? So people are theorizing that it is reacting to light.
Yeah, that's what I've read.
Might be some kind of a light source. He also had it in another thing where there was like rust underneath it, like
and
whatever.
This is one that I saw that you didn't provide. I'd seen this one, and so check this one out. I don't know if you've seen this one or not. In the safe.
Yes. So in the safe, you could see it's like kind of rusting underneath it. So is it producing moisture? Look at it moving.
We need to send somebody to Panama.
So the Daily Mail did an article on this, and they had UFO researcher and filmmaker Mark Christopher Lee look into this. And he said that this is easy to build, and it's a Hollywood-style fake. He said that the alien tentacle things and it all pulsing and moving, it is a prop made of silicone polymer. And the tentacles moving are created by hexane, a common solvent. Now, I will say that the quality of his videos are so bad. I don't know what phone he's using, but this person doesn't look like he has like Hollywood style capabilities. Would you agree, Andy?
Yeah, and there's also like he's obviously speaking Spanish in his videos when we get them from TikTok. I'd love like a translation there to see what Ken is actually saying about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
then people were saying, you know, if this was real. And it has gone massively viral. I mean, these videos have upwards of 8 million views on them. And even the lesser ones are like 2 million. I mean, like this has so many eyeballs on it. People in the comments are like, the CIA would be all over this if they thought that it was legit. Or the FBI or something, right? Like if it was really a threat or like an alien threat, like some government would be involved. And then other people were arguing on the other side that, you know, the government in Panama isn't on top of stuff like this. Like they don't have the resources to be on top of this, but I don't know. And I also wouldn't put it past the Americans to go in there anyway, regardless, and make it their own problem. But
I would love to think this is true more than anyone knows. I'm a conspiracy guy, but I don't know. I don't know about this.
Someone said it's a rotten potato. I mean, you know, the meteor, can you pull up a photo of a meteor? Because whatever this was looked like a potato to me. Like it really, really does look like a painted potato. And as you know, things grow on potatoes the longer you have them when they're like rotten and stuff. But I don't know. I don't think that this is possible. Someone said it's Brigitte Macron's vagina. So true. That's the photo. These are the photos that she's providing to court.
Oh, that's wrong.
Yeah.
Whoever said that, that's wrong. That's just wrong.
Yeah, like that looks like a rock. And whatever is in this video looks like a painted potato, in my opinion. I don't believe it.
Yeah,
I
think I'm there with you. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm buying it.
I have a hard time believing it because of it looks like this man he doesn't have access to a lot of money or like resources to do this kind of thing. Like it looks like he lives in a pretty remote area. But I don't know, he has a lot of test tubes and stuff in his house in these videos. Like maybe he does have access to this kind of stuff.
I hope he just keeps posting and this thing gets like 3 stories.
I don't know. Other people were saying too that in Panama, they don't really have like a TikTok creator fund where he's making money off of this. So people were saying that he's not even using this to make money. I don't know if that's true or not, but
well,
I don't know.
I mean, in the plot of Alien in 1979, that looking thing jumps on his face and attacks his face and eats his face. So
Yeah.
if we don't hear from old Ken again, we'll know what happened.
Totally. Well, we have 5 minutes left. Should I do blind reactions?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we can do those.
Okay. They have some, I promised a very long scrolling time. I kind of got carried away with the tinfoil hat time. Don't kill me. All the videos that I have will be used at some point. We will play them on Monday maybe. But yeah, I just figured end of the week, let's do some blind reactions. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, the husbands out there, I think, can relate to this first one. If you're ready, here we go.
温馨提示：为了您和他人的身体健康，请不要在超市内行
So
走。
he's taking,
上下电梯时站稳扶好，腹部好好伸
why was I just going to call them onions? Am I okay? It's been a long week. Oranges.
欢迎光临。
He's taking oranges out of the bag that she has already picked. And because he picked them, she does not like them. Don't go
Nothing he can do.
Don't go
There's
grocery
nothing that
shopping
man
with your
can
partner.
do. It's over.
I feel like don't go grocery shopping with your partner, your husband, your wife, whoever. Like just let her do it. If she's picky about the produce, just like let her do it. But I think that's kind of rude that they were perfectly good oranges. She just didn't want them because her husband gave them to her. That's very rude.
And that man now has video evidence
Of her being rude.
He has evidence to back up his claims. He has evidence.
Yeah, I don't like that. How many do you have for me?
I got 3. Here's another fun one. Here's an animal one.
There's no way this is real.
I know the answer to that, but I'm not going to say it.
There's no way that's real. If you're listening, there was a squirrel that is... what is that? The air conditioner?
It's like a big air conditioner.
He's floating above the air coming out of the air conditioner. There's no way. I saw a video recently.
That's like indoor skydiving. I mean, you telling me that can't happen?
I don't have my iPad out here, but I have a video of a squirrel sitting on one of these, and he's airing out his behind on it.
Yeah, that's not a bad usage of that man-made, man-made
Good
object
for him.
there,
I'm sure
but
that feels very good.
this guy's hanging out.
But that's AI, right?
You want to know? Did
Yeah.
Travis know? Correct. That was made in AI. Yeah.
Okay. You haven't caught me yet. I fell for the bunnies on the trampoline. I didn't fall for the squirrel floating above the air conditioner.
Now this next one is
Let the
not
record
AI,
show.
and I have seen people do this, and I'm just telling you, being from East Tennessee and the, Appalachian Smoky Mountains, like, do not do this.
Oh no.
So here you go.
What's up, buddy?
Sit. Sit down.
He doesn't know sit.
Yes, he does.
Oh, shit, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, this is a big black bear
What's up, buddy?
sitting very close to this person's porch, and of course the people are on the
doesn't
porch
know
filming.
Yes, he does.
And she's got
Oh,
food in
shit,
her
he
hands,
does.
by the way.
He does. Good.
But they said sit, and the bear did sit. So
I'm telling you, those things are, I mean, when they're majestic. They walk up, you see them in the woods. I've done this on the trail. You've seen these things. They're absolutely majestic.
because black
and then-
bears are not as dangerous as brown bears, grizzly bears.
They're
but
all dangerous.
They can snap.
A black bear is just not as big as a grizzly.
Okay.
But these things are they swim better than you, they climb trees better than you, they run faster than you, they eat more than you. And people will literally feed the things, and I don't know what to think about
They
that
feed
video.
them?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I've seen these things tear through campgrounds and leave nothing. I mean, these things are super scary, and that was true. That wasn't AI.
I remember during COVID, my friends and I, we rented a house in the Poconos, and, you know, we went food shopping, and one of my friends was like, we have to bring all this food in. And, you know, I was like, oh, you know, she was like, we need to bring in the food right away so that bears don't break into the car. And I was like, what? Like, bears would break into the car even if it's locked? But then I've seen all these videos and they're crazy. Like, bears, I mean, they've got the opposable thumb, like they've got their claws.
Those things
not
will climb
opposable thumbs,
on
but
top
like,
of the car.
they can pull the door open. It's really scary.
Yeah, I mean, technically you're camping, like, people put their food away from the campsite,
right?
In some kind of capacity. Usually tie it up, 10 feet off the ground from a tree branch or something. But, like, no, these things are super dangerous, and that bear knows where that woman lives. He knows that there's a place there with food more than there's a human being there. So do not do that. Ugh, that's just scary to watch.
I've seen videos of the aftermath, like, because I know that when there's a a black bear, like, you can, they say to, like, get big, make noise, scare them away. But I've seen videos of people, like, they're yelling at this black bear to get out of their car or whatever, and they don't pay attention. They don't back down. They're in that car. They're ripping it to smithereens inside. I've seen the aftermath of a bear being caught in someone's car. They rip the seats apart. It is very scary.
In certain places in between East Tennessee and Knoxville, like Gatlinburg, Tennessee, or Pigeon Forge, there's so many people there. The bears don't. You're right. You can kind of, they don't react to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the minute that thing gets mad, like, there's literally nowhere you can go to run from a bear.
That's so scary. I'm not like an outdoorsy kind of girl. All of this scares me. Alligators scare me. Bears scare me. Anything that can hurt me scares me. I'm not built for this kind of stuff.
But you're not scared of the alien potato.
No, because I don't think that that's real. Anyway,
that bear was real.
The bear is definitely real. Okay. Thank you for watching.